Good morning, everybody. It's Chad from Six Blog. So yesterday I posted a video going through my backpack for a hike that I have coming up. Several folks has asked me questions about the hammock setup in specific, so I figured I'd just kind of take time to do a little walkthrough and just kind of show you exactly what I'm using. Now I want to say that this is my summer hammock system. I don't typically use hammocks. I don't really care for them a whole lot as far as sleeping in. At the end of a long day, just lay in one and relax. I love them, but when it comes time to go to sleep, I really do prefer laying on the ground. That's my preference. But I'm not completely against hammocks. Whenever it gets really hot, like I said in my other video, I remember June and July nights, southeast Appalachian mountains, laying there, and the temperature is just so hot. I'm just laying there in my underwear. I'm sticky because I'm sweating, and it's just a miserable night. So I figure if I bring a hammock, maybe I can kind of take advantage of getting a little bit of air circulating all around me, and maybe it won't be quite so hot. So this is what I'm bringing for this hike. It's probably the only time I'll ever really use a hammock again on hikes, is whenever I just can bring just basically a hammock and a tarp. And what I mean by that is I'm not bringing any insulation to put up underneath me. Now several folks has already commented that I should. In my experiences with hammocks, once it starts getting down into the mid-60s or so, lower 60s, that's when I start feeling cool air, and that's when it starts affecting me based on my experience sleeping in hammocks. Of course, that's going to vary depending on how hydrated I am, if I've ate. There's just a lot of variables that will affect that. But in my experience, generally 65, mid-60s is about where I start getting cool. The anticipated weather forecast lows for this hike coming up is going to be about 65, 66, 67 degrees. Of course, it's a little ways away, so that could change. So I'll make adjustments as necessary. However, I am not planning on bringing any insulation to put underneath me in the hammock. If I feel like I need insulation up underneath me in the hammock, I still have several options. I can use my backpack. It's a frameless backpack. It's Cuban fiber. I can just lay it up underneath me. I can also lay my pack liner. I can lay it up underneath me, and I can even use my quilt. It'll tuck around me, or I could just completely turn it around and lay on top of it. Those things I think will provide enough insulation just to get me through the night. Like I said, it's only going to be one night, so I'm not super worried about. I'm just not super worried about it because it's only one night. I can suffer through one night if I have to. I've done it probably worse than I'm going to do on this hike. I don't think I will, but I have suffered through several other nights, so it's just one of those things, But like I said, I don't feel like this is going to be an issue on this hike. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see in time. So anyway, so this is basically what I'm carrying here. This is a seal nylon tarp from Appalachian Hammock. It's 11-foot ridgeline, I believe, and I can't remember the width on it. I have it outfitted with a full-length ridgeline. It's got an adjustable. It's got adjustable those soft shackles on it, so that I can actually adjust the tarp back and forth along the ridgeline. It has a little bone knot thing on one end and a figure 9 on the other end. I'll show you those in the video. And then I have some Lawson Klein's 2mm glow wire on each 4 corners. And I have, I think I actually took a 50-foot hank and cut it into 4 sections, so I have plenty of line on all 4 corners. Plus, I also have, I think, some of the little cord adjusters, the little triangle ones. You'll see it. Other than that, I've got 4 stakes. This is 2 of the MSR carbon core stakes. I've used these extensively. Typically, these are always in my pack with at least 2 that I use in my hex mid, and then the rest is Lawson Klein's, his shepherd hook stakes. But this time I'm going to carry 2 of these. These are Rudokura's carbon fiber Sorex stakes. Now, I bought these several years ago. I don't think these are the exact same models that are on the site now. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't really checked. But that's what I'm carrying there. And then, of course, the hammock. Like I said, my good buddy Craig Smith, a.k.a. Free Home, he's been on several hikes with me. He might get to go on this hike with me. But he made this for me. This is one of his creations. Basically, I can't remember the length or the width anymore, but it's made out of some Nylon D 1.0 that Dutch sold. I don't know if he still does. And then I have 2-foot amp steel loops attached to each end of the hammock. And then I also have 8-foot Kevlar straps, I think from Dutch is where I got those too, that I use to go around the tree. I just used a sheet bend knot or something like that. I'll kind of show you that too when I get it up. But no other hardware is necessary. I really like that knot. It holds well. It's easy to tie. I will admit that with these Kevlar straps are kind of thin. So after laying on the hammock all night long, those knots are still pretty tight. The knot basically slips loose when you pull on the end. But sometimes it can take a couple of tugs just to get it to loosen up a little bit. So, but it works great. I like it. It works for me. Also, 9.2 ounces for everything for the hammock. The Kevlar straps, the am steel loops, and the hammock and the little stuff sack, 9.2 ounces. And the tarp is 16.2 ounces with all the cord I told you about, the full-length ridgeline, and the hardware. Now, I will say that if I was more of a hammock guy, I would get me a Cuban fiber tarp, but I just don't hammock enough to justify the cost of that, so I'm going to stick with this. So I'm going to set this up real quick, and then I'll give you a closer look. Alright, so there it is set up. Of course, all you see is the tarp. And there is the hammock up underneath the tarp. Now, like I said, I do have this Lawson Klein's 2mm glow wire. I'm using it at each corner, and it's a pretty long section. And then I just have these micro adjusters. And as far as my straps, like I said, I've got the Kevlar straps wrapped around. And then this is the sheet bend knot. There's a sheet bend knot. And then, of course, the am steel loops attached to the hammock itself. One thing I forgot to add is, if you can see it, I actually do have an adjustable ridgeline on the hammock itself as well. So there's that. But anyway, that's it. This is a better version of the and it's very simple to tie. I'll see if I can set the camera up and show you real quick. Okay, I hope it's focusing on the knot and not me. Anyway, so to untie it, basically all you do is just pull that, and to tie it, so I have my loop from the hammock, I just run that through it and kind of pull it back, kind of get the tension that I want on the hammock, and then I just hold it there. And then I make the knot on this side, not this side. I just kind of run it through the loop I made, pull it back. And that's it. Very easy to tie, holds great, pretty easy to untie. Like I said, this Kevlar strap, it does kind of make it tough to pull it loose after I've laid in it all night long, but it works great. I don't have to use hardware. Easy to remember. It's just a good way for me. Alright guys, so like I also mentioned on the tarp, I do have some hardware on it. One end I have this knot bone thingamajiggy, and the other end I have a Night Eyes figure 9. This is very easy to use. I like it a lot, and I'm willing to just take the hit carrying the weight of it. But the way it works is basically just kind of thread it through, kind of the way they do some of their am steel, their loops and whoopies and all that stuff. But it's just permanently attached to the end of one of the ends of the full-length ridgeline. And all you do is just wrap the string around the tree like you normally would. And then you can see maybe there's actually channels on this thing. And the way it works is after you wrap it around, you just pull one end of the cord through one of those channels and then just loop it around the knot bone several times and then pull it out the other end. And that's it there. You can see what that looks like. And then that holds, and then of course you just pull the other end of this to your other tree, tie it up, use your Night Eyes figure 9 to cinch it down, and you're good to go. So that's the knot bone. Really like it. So there you have it. That is this is my hammock setup that I plan on using for my summer hike. I hope it answered some of the questions that some of you may have. If you have any more questions, just post them below, and I'll get back to you and reply to those. And we'll talk about gear. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. See you next time.